John and Rose met in college. Everyone around them thought they were the perfect couple. Young, ambitious, the kind of couple you genuinely root for. John was 3 years older than Rose and was studying to become a tourism manager, dreaming of seeing the world. Rose, she was different. She enrolled in law school not by choice, but because her parents forced her into it, insisting she had to become a successful lawyer. But Rose never wanted that life. She just drifted along, always feeling it wasn't her path. Years passed. Dreams remained just dreams. They still scraped by, living paycheck to paycheck, renting tiny, shabby rooms in the worst neighborhoods of New Jersey. They never had children. They could barely take care of themselves. Over time, they even got used to the constant sirens at night, news of brutal murders, and the screams of their deranged neighbors. It all became part of the background. They even joked, without all that, it wouldn't even feel like home. They moved often. Sometimes they couldn't pay the rent. Sometimes they fled when life in a particular place became too dangerous. Then one day they got lucky. Or at least, that's what they thought. Rose worked as a cashier in a supermarket. After all her previous jobs, in warehouses, as a dishwasher, she genuinely enjoyed simply chatting with people. Regular customers began choosing her line, even if the wait was longer. Among them was Mrs. Amber, an elegant older woman with perfect hair and makeup. They always exchanged a few words. One day, Mrs. Amber offered to drive Rose home after her shift. In the car, they talked. Mrs. Amber shared that her husband had passed away. Her children lived in another state, and they rarely visited. She confessed that Rose reminded her of her youngest daughter, Kara. "You have the same warm smile." Over time, they grew close. Then, one day, Mrs. Amber made an unexpected offer. "I have a 2-bedroom apartment near the park. It's a quiet, nice area. But I can't just rent it to anyone. It was my daughter's apartment. It's very personal to me. I can let you and John live there for a symbolic rent. Just take good care of it. There's only one condition. One of the rooms must always remain locked. Always. You can't open it. There are some personal things from my children in there, just for nostalgia. Do you agree? After all the tiny, miserable apartments they'd lived in, this offer felt like a dream. But something inside Rose felt uneasy. She was deeply worried. John tried to convince her. "Honey, we're going to have problems again soon. We haven't paid rent for 3 months. This is our chance. We'll take care of the apartment like it's our own." When they saw the apartment, John was thrilled. It was cozy, quiet, and close to his job. Perfect. But everything went wrong on moving day. They didn't have much stuff. But the most important thing, the one Rose's mother had given them on their anniversary, shortly before she passed away. It was the last thing Rose had from her mother. John was supposed to wrap it carefully, but it slipped and shattered into pieces. Rose froze. "It's a sign. We shouldn't move in. Honey, it's just an accident. We can glue it back. Don't overthink. Why would we turn down this chance? I have a bad feeling. Please, trust me. This will end badly." But John didn't listen. He had long gotten used to Rose worrying over nothing. They moved in that same day. Mrs. Amber gave them the keys and left to visit her children. "Rose, I hope you'll take good care of my apartment. And remember, you are not allowed to open the locked room." The first few days in the apartment were too quiet. At night, Rose began hearing knocking. Sometimes, right behind the locked door. Sometimes, it sounded like someone was jiggling the handle, as if trying to get out. "It's an old apartment. You hear me? It's just creaks, pipes. Don't scare yourself." John brushed her off. But the sounds grew louder. The knocking turned into scraping. Sometimes Rose swore she heard quiet sobbing behind the door. One evening, Rose couldn't take it anymore. She walked up to the locked door, and then she heard it. "Rose, please, I'm cold. Let me out." Cold terror gripped her. The voice wasn't menacing. It was a child's voice, sad, lonely, pleading. Rose tugged at the handle, but the door was securely locked, and the voice kept whispering, "Please, let me out, Rose, please." She woke John, but when he came to the door, the sounds were gone. "Rose, you just had a nightmare. Please, stop imagining things. Let's go to bed." In the morning, she begged him to leave the apartment, but he just sighed in frustration. "It's all in your head. Mrs. Amber is just an old lady. She wants us to respect her boundaries. We're not going anywhere." That night, Rose had a nightmare. Inside the locked room sat a little girl, hugging her knees, whispering, "Why did you lock me in here?" When Rose woke up, she was struggling to breathe. She knew it wasn't just a dream. She called Mrs. Amber and asked her directly. The connection kept cutting out, but it was clear the old woman was not pleased. "Some doors are better left closed, Rose. I warned you." The next night, Rose woke up to the sound of someone breathing next to her. When she opened her eyes, she was terrified. A man with a knife was standing over her. The blade was inches from her throat. She was so terrified she couldn't move. She was even afraid to breathe. She just squeezed her eyes shut. When she opened them, he was gone. She didn't tell John. It was pointless. She saw him off to work and went to clean the kitchen. But what she saw there horrified her. There was an old knife on the table with dried blood on the blade. She grabbed the knife and rushed to find John. Look what I found on the kitchen table. Where did this come from?" "This is too much, Rose. Just throw it away. Why did you even bring it here?" "Maybe I just found it and left it there. I don't remember." "Is this really something to panic over?" Rose didn't remember how she got back home. One thought consumed her: open the room. She tried picking the lock with a knife, a fork, anything she could find, but it wouldn't budge. Then she started slamming the door with all her strength. The lock stayed firm. She found John's tools and ripped the lock out completely. The door opened. Musty air poured out. She coughed. Inside, nothing unusual. Old photos, albums, clothes. The room was decorated in an older style, different from the rest of the apartment. But there was no child, no man. But one thing caught her eye. In the photos, there was a little girl standing next to Mrs. Amber. The caption, "Clara, forever in my heart." So I'm losing my mind? That night, Rose saw the girl again in her dream. But this time, everything was different. The girl was sitting on the floor in the same room, but now the walls were covered in black mold, and dirty water dripped from the corners. Rose took a step forward. The girl lifted her head and smiled. But the smile was unnatural, stretched unnervingly wide. "Thank you for opening the door, Rose. Now I can come out. Now I'm with you." Her face began to twist. The skin cracked. Her eyes turned pitch black. Rose screamed, but the girl grabbed her hand. When Rose woke up, she was struggling to breathe, but she wasn't in her bed. She was on the floor of that very room. The door was tightly shut. She threw herself at the door, pounding with her fists. John, please open up. Please let me out of here." And suddenly, she heard John's voice faintly through the door. "Rose, can you hear me? You told me not to open this door. You said it was dangerous." "John, I'm inside. It's me. Please open it. I'm begging you." Silence. Then, "You're just tired, honey. It's all in your head. I won't open this door. I must respect Mrs. Amber's boundaries. Rose desperately beat on the door, screaming at the top of her lungs, but all she heard in return were fading footsteps. And just before she lost her voice, something stirred in the corner of the room. From the darkness, the girl slowly emerged, but now her face was fully decomposed. Empty black sockets, a twisted grin. The girl sat down in front of Rose, tilted her head, and whispered, "Now you'll be my toy. Now I've taken your place." Outside, John calmly locked the door with a new key. He approached the shelf where a photo stood. In the photo, Rose and the little girl. The caption had changed. "My Rose, forever in my heart." He smiled, and in the reflection of the glass behind him, the girl with the hollow eyes was standing.